Hey, I'm Mike.
Hey, I'm Chris.
This is Mike and Chris Reloaded. This week we're continuing.
Yes, welcome to part two of upcoming video game movies.
Yeah, so if you didn't listen to part one, go listen to part one quick and then come back and listen to part two.
hmm So just remember that if you guys skip a week, you're going to be missing out on half the information.
That's right. There is a lot of information to cover. I think we included, 14 titles last week?
I think so, right around there, yeah.
Yeah,
We got
13,
another,
14?
yeah, you got another 13, 14 going on this time.
Yeah, so there are a lot of rumored upcoming video game releases,
And
video game
again,
movie releases.
yeah, we'd like to credit Den of Geek
Yes, Den of
for
Geek.
giving us a lot of this information that we're bringing to you guys.
Yeah,
And
I just don't want to think that we're plagiarizing them. They took time out of their busy schedule and created a list that they got posted, which you can check out at denofgeek.com. And
and Mike took time out of his busy schedule to copy them. Plagiarize.
yeah, yeah. So you know what we did.
Outsource the information.
We referenced it. The correct term is I use it as a reference. So they really did their work there. So I mean, it's worth going and checking and reading what they have written down there because I didn't include all their writing stuff. We're ad libbing here.
A lot of actually the stuff we come up with. I mean, we research a lot anyway
Yeah,
of different things, and we hear certain things, and we subscribe to a lot of you know I guess
geek related
yeah,
shit.
geek related informants and stuff like
Yeah,
information and stuff that gives us to us. So, we're hearing things like firsthand also, and we're presenting it to you. So, everything you see without actually being an actual, someone there at the actual show get it firsthand. We're hearing, we just try and get it to you as quick as we can.
that's right.
So,
So starting off this list is the Minecraft movie.
oh Lord,
Minecraft is hugely popular. It's
or what
still
I like to
hugely
call
popular.
mind crap.
Yeah, I don't like it. I tried to play with my daughters and they got pissed at me because I wasn't building the building correctly and I'm like, how the hell do you not build a freaking building correctly?
I played that game for like 40 minutes, got like 4 achievements, never touched it again.
Yeah, I'm right about at your time, about 40 minutes in, maybe a half hour, maybe a little less, but yeah. So Mojang is the one that is leaking the information that they're going ahead with the movie, and they got Rob McClenney.
I think it's Rob McClenney.
Rob McClenney. He's from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and they got to write the script, and they got two producers, Roy Lee, who did the Lego Movie, and Jill Messick, who does Mean Girls.
Okay, with that being said, with the double production, double producers, and everything else, I see this movie going again as more of an animated
Yeah, I would
style.
assume that it's going to be an animated style movie
So,
for sure. I mean, well, they have to because you got. I mean, their whole thing is animated, cartoony looking. I don't see them doing a live action or even a CG
which is
one.
funny because I don't know if you remember me telling you last week about how I was reading that article on um, the top movies already this year.
Yeah.
Remember I
Oh
was
yeah,
telling you
yeah,
about
yeah.
that last week? I like the Batman Lego movie was like number 4.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, it was like animated movies are good, and I think that movie Get Out I told you was number 2,
yeah.
the one with done by um, what's his name, Key
Don't.
and Peele, Jordan
Okay.
Peele,
I was like, don't make me drop
done by
names. I
Jordan
suck
Peele,
at names.
um, and the number one movie so far this year. And for those of you who always are putting anime down, the number one movie, and this is done by, I read this article in on MSN, and it's done by a Metascore, Rotten Tomatoes, and it was a compilation. It was a computer program that compiled everything that combined the score. The number one movie so far this year, as of the end of April, was Your Name,
Which we covered in a
and
podcast.
it is an anime, and it's been the top grossing anime in Japan, and it's actually a huge hit here in the United States.
I have yet to see it. We talked about it. Well, that one podcast we did. We talked about it, and I know it just went out of my brain when you told me about it. I completely blanked out. I'm like, your name? I was thinking Mike.
No, but it's so funny because you got this movie beating out movies like the likes of the Power Rangers, movie the likes of Logan, the Fate and the Furious, Ghost in the Shell, all these big blockbuster movies that have come out already. This movie is number one over all of them.
Yes. And I would say that this is a worldwide ranking, right?
Yes. Again, I told you it's a compilation of Metascore, it's a compilation of IMDb scores, compilation of Rotten Tomato score, everything. It's all taken and compilated and computed and averaged out. So there you have it. People who
Well,
do not like animated or anime movies, number one movie so far this year.
our next one is probably going to be another animated movie.
Yes, it probably will be.
That's Raving Rabbids.
Yes, if you've ever played the games, you've got these annoying little rabbits that come after you. Rabbids, actually. Sorry.
Rabbids.
Yes, they look like rabbits, but they're called rabbids.
See, now this one's going to be interesting because they got in 2015 they hired the writers for Robot Chicken to write the script for
Seth
this.
Green.
No, Matt Sinrich, Tom Shepard, and Zeb Wells. They're
Hmm.
actually the writers behind it. I think Seth Green does some of the animation for it.
It's actually I think he owns Robot Chicken.
Yeah, he does own Robot Chicken. I know that. Yeah,
So
but I think he's more along the lines as an animator for it. I mean,
um,
I'm sure he writes some material for it too. But
hmm, that's pretty interesting.
but yeah, so I don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know if it's going to be like a slash CGI slash animation type or
I
still motion capture or
I I I mean I'm thinking along the lines of like Wallace and Gromit. Kind of the motion, the stop
yeah,
motion.
yeah.
I'm thinking along that lines. I think I don't think it'd be good as far as like an animated style or whatever. I think that something like that would be good as far as like I said, just if you've ever played the games, you kind of understand what I'm talking about, and I know you've played them
Yeah.
and everything else, and I've played them too actually. But I think it would be more along the line that lines of like that style of animated movie.
Hmm. It'll be interesting to see. I know my kids will want to go see it because they're a whole big bunch of Raging Rabbits fans.
Oy vey.
I know they like Raymond. So next we got Rampage.
Which this actually movie is already in production.
Yes, this movie is being made.
It's actually starring Dwayne the Rock Johnson,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and they've already released a plot to the movie. Basically, a satellite explodes out in space somewhere, and three canisters fall from this secret satellite facility or some, space station thing. It lands in all three canisters land on Earth. One lands in the Florida Everglades, one lands out in the desert, and one lands in a gorilla cave habitat.
Hmm.
And anyway, it mutates. Obviously, the alligator mutates the alligator into Lizzie, the wolf into what was the wolf's name?
I don't remember.
I
It's
know
been so
George.
long since I
George
played
is
Rampage.
the gorilla,
Yeah, George is a gorilla.
and Lizzie the lizard, and I cannot remember the wolf's name. Anyway, obviously they mutate, grow giant, whatever. The Rock plays a former Marine who is now some kind of gorilla, something or another, and the George is one of his gorillas. He kind of sign languages and teaches sign language too, and so there's your plot point. And the people that own the space station, yeah, they own the space station. Try to track, and this is so funny when you're reading. I was reading this thing. I was just like, really? They build some little like some kind of thing to attract the animals to them so they can try and cover it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing they build to attract the animals is like in the middle of the tallest building in Chicago. So let's just build this giant thing in the middle of the tallest building in the middle of one of the biggest cities in the country.
No,
So,
nice.
so yeah, there you go. Rampage.
Yeah, that's that's a wait for the DVD movie. Well, of
The
course, The Rock
game
is good.
the game was awesome. I love my kid absolutely just loved the game. And the game was it's just fun. It's just one of those ones you just destroying a city, you're eating people. You could actually fight each other and stuff later on. But the game was fun. It's just one of those silly fun games. But
Yeah,
movie, I'm not so sure about.
yeah, I'm not sure about, but it's got two good actors, so maybe maybe their acting prowess will make the movie a little bit better.
Who knows?
I doubt it. But next, I would assume that this one's going to be another animated movie, in my opinion. But I don't know. But it's Sly Cooper.
Sly Cooper, who's actually owned by Sony,
Yes.
and now Sony did. They also put out a Ratchet and Clank movie, which was completely animated. And of course, that kind of tanked pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
Well, my wife loves Sly Cooper, and this one's going to be based off of the Thievius Raccoonist.
which was one of the best ones out there.
Yeah, I think that was the first one they made, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, for the PlayStation 2, I
yes.
believe. So definitely going to be interesting. It's got director Kevin Monroe, who's set to do this movie. I don't know who he is.
Me neither.
So, but he's there. So,
But well, and again, I see this leaning towards more of an animated style, like we were talking about before.
yeah,
So, um, I watched the Rat Clank movie. It wasn't bad. Um, it's it's kind of hit or miss with animated stuff nowadays.
it is. They're pumping. I mean, I think anime has gotten so popular that they're just pumping out animation movies like no tomorrow right now. And I think half of them are really good, and half of them suck donkey stuff. Dick. I was gonna say dick, but I didn't. So I'm glad I didn't say dick.
Yeah, thank gosh.
Yeah, that would have been bad. So next we got Splinter Cell, which I'm actually kind of excited. I love Splinter Cell.
Yeah, Sam
Sam Fisher,
Fisher. Yeah,
and they're rumored that Tom Hardy is in the
this is
position to play Sam
this
Fisher.
has been going on for a while actually. The Splinter Cell. Um, as far as even Tom Hardy being rumored to play him too.
Yeah,
I mean, I heard about this probably like 2 years ago.
yeah, it's been a while.
So it's nice to see that he's actually still attached to the project. I think it would be great. I love Tom Hardy's acting. I mean, he's got such a range, and
Yeah, Mad Max was fantastic.
he's one of those. It seems to me he's like one of those method actors too. He just like gets into his role, but hopefully he doesn't get into like a method actor like, uh, um, what's his name? It is Heath Ledger.
Yeah, or was.
So yeah, but
The movie's currently in search of director, though. The director quit, so on this one, so they're kind of looking for a director for it. But they got the screenplay. It's partially written by Eric Singer. He's got most of it done. So
I
we'll
mean, if they
see.
stick with it, it's just all Sam Fisher is he's just basically a you know well, if you know what a splinter cell is, it's someone who's a deep undercover operative who actually involves himself in a culture or community or whatever, and then when he goes active, he's activated by a certain whatever to go and do his mission. So I mean, that's basically what your splinter cell is you got to get in there and find out who's doing what.
Yeah, I could see this movie being like Sam Fisher at home cooking his daughter dinner, and then all of a sudden his daughter gets kidnapped, and he has to go undercover to get his daughter.
Didn't they do that movie in Taken?
Yeah, they've done that movie quite a few times actually. The
Well, no,
Taken's not the only
with
one.
the way the world is nowadays, with the whole terrorism thing and everything else, I can see how you could put someone like over in whatever Uzbekistan or whatever as just somebody there as a shopkeeper or whoever, just trying to infiltrate things like that. I mean, that's this with the movie and the way the game is, it can go just 1,000 different ways, and of course, like again with Tom Hardy in it, a great actor. I love him. I think he can't go wrong.
No, and I mean this is actually going to be a. They got a 2 movie deal that they're trying to work out, so there's going to be a Splinter Cell 2 they're hoping for. So I mean that would take us into our next title, but yeah, so we got Splinter Cell 1 and then Splinter Cell 2. So I think they're really wanting to do this. So I mean, otherwise they wouldn't be talking about the second one already.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see.
Time will tell.
So here's another Rock one. You got the Rock rumor to play.
Yeah. Spy Hunter.
Yeah, Spy Hunter.
Which again, Rock has been tied to it. There's no, I mean, he's been listed as far as being in the movie for the long time. And again, I heard about this
Yeah, this
again,
has been a while
yeah,
too.
2-3 years ago. There's still nothing definite on it. I mean, he could not be in it after a while, but if you ever played the original Spy Hunter game, you had the supercar you drove, and that's pretty much all the whole game was.
Yeah,
You drove a car
this
that,
is like another Gran Turismo from last week.
which I could kind of see this, as far as a synopsis of, maybe there's he's a super spy or whatever, and someone invented this supercar, and he has to steal it, and then the whole movie is him trying to get away with the car or something, and it does all kinds of James Bondy type stuff or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Batman.
but I could see that. See how that is. You just have this supercar or whatever, and Rock's a spy, and he's trying to get get the car back. Who
That could
knows?
be. Who knows? The Rock does a lot of driving movies now, doesn't he?
You think?
I think so.
Maybe
He,
he's just too fast and furious for his own good.
yeah, yeah. Go Joe. Anyways, moving on. Spy Hunter. Now we're going to Thief, which I did not like this game. I couldn't get into it.
Honestly, man, I couldn't either.
I mean, I don't want to say it was terrible. It just was uninteresting to me.
It had a good concept. I just could not get into it. It's just like you go to play it, and it's just like you're doing the same thing over and over again, and then it's almost like a ripoff of Dishonored to me.
Kinda, yeah.
Except with Dishonored, you had more like ability. With Thief, you have just thievery abilities.
See, I'm not good at stealth games in general, anyways. When I play Splinter Cell or something like that, I'm all guns ablazing, unless they're forced me to be stealthy. I'm not a stealthy person. I'm fat, damn it, I'm fat.
That sounds like my kid. He just say, Splinter Cell. I'm gonna just go in there and shoot. No, you have to sneak in. What are you doing?
No, I go through the front door with my guns drawn. But this one, screenplay is being written by Adam Mason, who's a cult horror film writer, and Simon Boy. I'm not familiar with Simon Boy,
I am not either.
but I do know Adam Mason. So he's I forget some of I think like the Ghost Ship or something like that he's done, and
Oh wow,
some of these really cult horror movies that are kind of crap B rated.
great.
So don't quote me 100% on that movie. I'm just giving an example of what movie it was like.
Well, with Thief, Thief, you can go a lot of different routes with. I mean, it's basically in the game, you're just pretty much a thief, and you're trying to steal some whatever crown jewel thing, and it's I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, but the movie's based back in I think the 1700s or something.
Yep.
Or the game, I mean,
Game
is
is based in the 1700s,
yeah.
I think.
So it's kind of a medieval swag to it. So I don't know. They might do something with it. Who knows?
And maybe a modern day. That would be cool. Maybe a modern day thief. But,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's go on to the next one. Ha, I said it this week. Next would be Tomb Raider.
Which this one's actually in production already.
Yeah, I
At
think
least-
it's almost done. I think we
Yeah.
were just talking about this just a little while ago.
Yeah, I think it's slated to come out actually in 2018 next year. Alicia Vikander plays Lara Croft.
Hot.
Yes, and I think they're basing this off of the new Tomb Raider games. This is kind of her first, experience, being out there doing whatever. So it's Lara's first time
I'd like to make it my first time too.
with her.
Anyway, your girlfriend's here.
Uh, she's not here. What are you talking about? Shut up, Mike.
Anyway, so
Just because your wife don't listen to our podcast,
no, my wife don't listen to. I'm free to say what the hell I want.
I might drop her. So she might need to listen to this week's.
Oh no, you won't. Oh no, you didn't. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about your favorite game.
Yes, Uncharted.
Yep.
I love these games. Oh, Nathan Drake,
Yep.
Nate Dogg. Yeah, Uncharted, Uncharted 2, Uncharted Thieves End. The new Uncharted. Uh,
Didn't they do a Drake one named the Drake something or
it's
another?
Uncharted 2, Drake's Fortune, Uncharted 2, Drake's Deception, and then Uncharted 3, the last one, whatever, is uh, Drake's End, I think,
See,
or
I
something like
just
that.
got my PlayStation 4, so I haven't played any of the Uncharted
Oh,
series.
they're fantastic.
Oh, I'm gonna play them as soon as I wrangle myself through Mass Effect. It's really a struggle to play.
Oh, I love these games. I mean, it's Nathan Drake, who's basically kind of a fortune Indiana Jones type fortune hunter, except
Yeah,
more modern day. It's not like way back in the 30s and 40s. But yeah, he's more modern time. Supposedly a descendant of Sir Francis Drake, and that's his whole life goal is to try and find where Francis Drake hid his treasure. So but great games. I love them. They cannot go wrong if they stick with any of the storylines. I mean, this could be basically the new Indiana Jones if they do these Uncharted movies.
they got director Sean Levy.
Hmm.
He's set to be the director. Screenplay is being written by Joe Carnahan. He wrote the A Team.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's rumored they got two rumors of who's gonna play Nathan Drake. It's Chris Pratt and Mark Wahlberg are being rumored in talks to play Drake.
I could totally see Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I see Chris Pratt too. He's kind of the scruff yet good looking guy, and Mark Wahlberg's like the
I mean, I could probably see Mark Wahlberg, but he's Mark Wahlberg seems more Jersey to me, where
yeah,
Pratt seems more worldly to me.
true.
So I could probably I would probably honestly now I had heard that Mark Wahlberg had been tagged to this thing for a while now, but I could totally see Chris Pratt. However, I do not see Chris Pratt doing it because he's already involved in several franchises already.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on for him.
He's got the Guardians of the Galaxy he's in. He's got the Jurassic
Jurassic World.
World. So he's already attached to a couple big franchises. Now, if they end Guardians of the Galaxy after after
Avengers
Avengers
Infinity
Infinity
War.
War, possibly, or if they decide not to make any more Jurassic Worlds after this next one, possibly. But I don't see where they'd actually put him in it.
Yeah, because it takes like 6 months to make a movie.
Yeah, if you get the proper productions.
Yeah,
I mean, if you got something that's like, say, a jungle ridden or whatever, then you got to worry about, environment. You got to worry about rains. You got to worry about animal species and stuff like that. So if you're out in the jungle somewhere, you got to worry about all that stuff. So it takes a while, depending on what kind of movie you're making. So,
man. Well, I'm looking.
but I would absolutely love to see Chris Pratt in this role.
Yeah, I would watch it. I like Chris Pratt, so I'd watch anything he did.
I don't think I would. I don't think I would turn it down for Mark Wahlberg. I'm a big Mark Wahlberg fan. Also, I just think Chris Pratt would be better suited for this role.
You don't like Marky Mark and the Funky
I do. I
Bunch?
like Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, okay.
I said I'm a big Mark Wahlberg fan too.
Oh, I thought you said you weren't a big.
No, I just said I would
I'm
prefer.
deaf.
I would prefer to see Chris Pratt in this role.
I understand. I understand. So let's just skip past the next couple. Warcraft 2 and 3. The
Okay
first
then.
one. The first one tanked. So I mean, we don't need.
However,
It was big.
it was huge in Japan.
Yeah.
In fact, that's where it got most of its money was in Japan.
Yeah.
Over the United States, domestically, it didn't. Not so much.
Well, it was too cinematic. Too not cinematic. Too
Well, the reason why is because the game is like immensely popular overseas.
yeah.
I mean, immensely popular. I mean, a lot of people here in the U.S. play the Warcraft game, but I mean, not nearly a fraction as they do over there in overseas, Japan and stuff. It is hugely popular in Japan, and it made bank over in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So maybe.
So if it does get a sequel, is only because of the money it made overseas.
Right.
So
That's true. Next, I didn't like this game though. A lot of people loved this game, Watch Dogs.
the first one I liked actually. It had a good storyline to it. Guy basically he's out for revenge.
Right.
Because they caused the death of his niece.
Yeah.
So spoiler, sorry. Anyway,
Yeah. Oops.
but it's a good concept. I mean, if you do it right, I mean, this guy's just some kind of ace hacker, and he's got his little smartphone he uses for everything to hack everything. I think it'd be a good idea. I think it'd be a good concept to do it.
See, it started off with the Zombieland writers, Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, were talked about being the writers for Watch Dogs. Paul has since dropped out. Now they got Jonathan Herman in there, and I'm not familiar who Jonathan Herman is.
I'm not sure either.
So, all these names that we're dropping, you guys can just go ahead and tell us what the hell they are or who the hell they are. I don't mind. Let us know. I mean, we need to learn too. We never claim that we're the all knowing geeks of the world. We just talk about shit we read. And we love you for listening to it. The Witcher.
Yeah. If this is done right, I think it'd be great. Of course, the story of Geralt, who is a witcher who actually hunts, what is it, mythical creatures or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, man. I haven't seen a really good fantasy action movie in a long time, man. I mean, I loved watching the old Conan style movies, Beastmaster, things like that.
I loved Beastmaster.
But I mean, what was the last movie we actually seen like this? Where you got back in the old fantasy days and stuff like that. And I know they make a lot of direct to video crap, but I'm talking like blockbuster action, just out in the theater type movie like this.
Yeah, it has been a while.
And if you take the Witcher storyline, I mean, you could do just 1,000 different things with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he could come up. You could have some just big thing or whatever. And as long as Uwe Boll stays away from it,
yeah, we're
it'll
safe.
be great. Yeah, but you can't. You have nowhere to go up on some of these things. If it's done right, and if the right storylines and producers and directors get attached to it, even actors, I think any one of these movies would be great. If Here's the thing, though, if you make these movies, man, a lot of these games already have the story set. Just follow the game.
They won't, though. They're going to put their own story into the movies. I know they will.
Yeah, just follow the game, man. I mean, Mass Effect, Last of Us, Uncharted. I mean, even any of these, Splinter Cell. Just follow the game. I mean, that's why we play these games, because the storylines are just immensely awesome.
Right.
I mean, even Borderlands, as cartoony as it was, I mean, it had a story.
I loved it. Plus, you got millions of guns.
Yeah. Deus Ex, same Assassin's Creed. Just all these games that we talk about are all story driven. Follow the story, man. There's a thing there. Follow the story. If you follow the story, all you got to do is put the right actors and actresses, the right directors and producers into place, and you'll have instant gold. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. 100%. So that's all we got for you this week. I just want to give another shout out to Den of Geeks for helping us out with this list, even though it was unbeknownst to you. I did. If you're listening, I did drop you an email and sent you a Facebook message letting you know that we were going to be using you as reference or source material.
Appreciate that, and also don't forget to check us out on all our social media: Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Facebook,
Tumblr, Twitter,
Instagram, our website, mikeandchrisreloaded.libsyn.com. That's 2 weeks in a row I got that.
High five.
High five.
Ooh, yeah. Special plea this week. Okay, if you do listen to us on Stitcher or iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And if also, don't forget to leave us any comments of what you think actors who should play, or what other movies games they should make into movies, or anything like that. Let us know. I know next week we got a top 5 coming, don't we?
Top 5. Bringing our May top 5.
And we're going to have a new guest on this one.
A new one. We haven't quite worked out who the other person is going to be, but so if you're listening and you want to be that other person, give us a call. Have your people get with our people, and
we'll sit you down for an interview.
Yeah. And our interviews are quizzing you on every one of our shows.
Pretty much so.
Yeah. Can we do that to Heath?
Yeah, we can do it. He actually does listen to him, though. He has told me he's even talked to me about him. So
okay.
I know for a fact he does listen to him. So.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Heath.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, and thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Chris.
And thank you, everyone out there, and we will see you next go round.
Later.